Hey guys, Randy here, and this is the end of phase one of the Jarvis build out. This is going to be like a recap of what happened when I came back after leaving the project alone. We got to a stopping point where it was time to test the voice, and I decided to stop there, take a break, came back, found my Windows machine was automatically rebooted because of a Windows update. I freaked out, scrambled to get everything back in place, recovered the session. That's the TLDR. Fortunately, everything got saved properly and recovered. Glad that's built into Claude Code. Anyway, this is the voice testing phase. Once this is proven to work fine, we will go on to phase two of the build out. I'm ready to start testing out the Jarvis voice to make it talk to me.
Hey, I'm up, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you loud and clear. What's up?
Just testing whether or not you could hear me all the time or only when I press the F9 key. Apparently, the F9 key is what allows you to hear me.
Got it, that makes sense. F9 is your push-to-talk trigger, so I only get what you say after you hit it. Good to know how the setup works. Anything you want to dive into?
Do you have access to the documents that explain what happened yesterday during the time where I came back and found that my PC had rebooted, finding the session ID and getting everything put back the way it was?
Let me check the session log and hot state for that. It's referenced as already confirmed accurate, but the actual detailed story never got written down anywhere in memory, just that pointer phrase. So no, I don't have the actual document explaining what happened. I don't have a record of the details, just a note that it's confirmed accurate and still waiting to be scripted for the video. Do you want to walk me through it now so I can write it up properly this time?
No, I only want you to have read-only access to this entire folder.
Got it. You want me restricted to read-only in this project going forward. No edits, no writes, no bash commands that change files. That's a permissions change in settings JSON, so I want to confirm before I touch it. Should this apply just to this session, or become a standing rule for this project every time going forward?
No, take no actions.
Understood. No actions, no changes. I'll stay read-only and just talk with you for now.
Now, unfortunately, Jarvis, which is really Claude, is running in the same folder as this Claude code section, so that's why I did not want anything touched. I think if I would have told it to go read only, then this could not read and write. So I only want this Claude to be doing the file manipulations. I want this one only to read. So now I got to tell Claude Code what's going on. So it did work. The delay is not bad, but it's not great either. Do you still have full access to read and write to everything in the folder? Not much really to read, just about the delay. Fortunately, it says still has full read-write access to the voice line folder with the actual test file. Hoping I have not screwed something up. Is it possible for you to find the file where we wrote up what happened? In the Windows automatic restart documentation yesterday, you had written out a complete outline of everything that had happened, how we recovered. I would like to see if I could get Jarvis to read that file and present it as a test of his voice while I'm screen recording this session. Looks like he found the documentation, not a clean narrative. Well, he wrote it all out, so read all this to figure out exactly where everything is. I thought you had created a document which was an outline of the whole story of how I came back inside, found my remote PC had rebooted because of a Windows update, worked through the problem of restoring the session. I thought you had documented all of that and saved it so that I could use it as an introduction to the Claude Code voice test for Jarvis. How do you guys like watching a troubleshooting session? It's not as smooth and as polished and perfect as these guys you see on YouTube when they're going, look at my Jarvis, look how it goes, look how smooth it is. Jarvis can just do everything. It's not perfect, it never is. Claude Code needs to be trained to do things the way you want it to do. It takes time. patience, lots of mistakes, lots of fixes as far as training, gets it wrong, fix it, train some more, refine. Did he find anything? You had created some remotion graphics that were to go along with me narrating the events that happened. Search the files and see if you can find the remotion graphics. Maybe the same folder contains this overview card. It's not a card. I'm not sure what you created, but it was an outline of what happened. Just maybe it was, we didn't make the card. We made a remotion graphic that was letting me freestyle while the graphics gave you a better explanation as to what actually happened. That may be the way I have to work it out. I wanted to let I want Jarvis to explain it as a demonstration of his voice, but that's not working out. So looks like it found something related to it. He found the bullet log, recap the recap graphic, found it, but it's the build bugs story about input freezing, dead air. So I got an option. I just use that old story or include the reboot story now, tell Claude what it was, and it writes the script for me, closing the gap between the two stories, or both. Bullets for this test, and we write the reboot story right after. At this point, I'm really afraid of letting Jarvis do anything, since it's not in its own project folder. It's in the main folder where it might do some damage. So I'm going to stick to being safe and just run the remotion graphics and do it myself. And then we'll just talk to Claude. Just show me the 10 bullets. Here's basically what happened. Let's see if I can blow this up. Nope, can't blow it up. Anyway, basically what happened yesterday was I left for a few hours, came back. My Windows machine, remote machine, had done an automatic Windows update, rebooted the machine. I logged in, I saw that my session had closed, freaked out, spent the next hour trying to make sure I could recover everything. Fortunately, we were able to restore the previous session of Claude Code to the exact same stopping point. Everything was saved. I breathed a sigh of relief, and we built out this bullet point list of what happened during the Jarvis build. So I'm going to read that off to you right now. It's kind of boring. So this is what happened in phase 1. We built Jarvis based on Jared's prompt built for Macintosh. Since I'm running a Windows machine, we built it for Windows, and we had all kinds of bugs and software issues because the same software does not run on Apple as it does on Windows. So there was some substitutions made. We documented all that, fixed everything, fixed the dead air between sentences. There was an extended delay between each sentence Jarvis was saying, so it didn't flow properly. I couldn't tell exactly when he finished talking, and we were over talking each other. So we rebuilt the entire audio pipeline after that was fixed. For some reason, the CPU was being used for the speech and not the GPU, so that got fixed. So it ran faster, and that made Jarvis respond faster. We installed Windows services that run all the time so that Jarvis is always ready to speak whenever I fire him up, instead of having to manually start the service, which starts the speech engine. That's where we are right now. I have just launched Jarvis in PowerShell. That's all there is right now, is just the voice. The face of Jarvis comes later, the front end. So this is just the test session. This is the, forget which one of the services we used for his voice. It's a free service. Do you know what voice, sorry, I used the wrong key. Claude Code uses the spacebar key to input voice to text, and Jarvis uses the F9 key. Trying to clear the screen there.
That last message came through as garbled terminal escape sequences. Looks like a paste or key repeat glitch. Nothing legible in it. Nothing for me to act on. Want to just say what you need.
Do you know what software we're using for your voice?
Yeah, it's your own build, the VoiceLine project. Speech-to-text runs through Whisper.cpp locally, and text-to-speech runs through Kokoro-FastAPI, both CUDA-accelerated and running as Windows services in the background. It was built off Jarred Rhodes, VoiceLine, prompt spec, and you've got it wired up so F9 is your push-to-talk trigger into Claude Code.
I am screen recording this to show the Jarvis build out. So I'm just curious, is there anything else that they would need to know about getting the voice of Jarvis working?
A few things worth mentioning for anyone watching. The whole thing is built from a public spec, Jard Rhodes voice line prompt, from jadra.com/prompts. So that's the starting blueprint, not something built from scratch. Two pieces do the actual work. Whisper.cpp listens and turns your voice into text, and Kokoro-FastAPI turns Claude's response back into speech. Both run on your GPU through CUDA, which matters a lot. Running them on CPU instead is something like 10 to 14 times slower, so a decent NVIDIA card is basically required for it to feel natural. Both of those run as actual Windows background services now, set to start automatically and restart themselves if they crash. That means after a reboot, you don't have to manually relaunch anything, which ties right into the story you're recording about today. And the code itself is public. It's on your GitHub under VoiceLine, so anyone watching could go pull the repo and the install script themselves.
Well, I think we've had a very successful test run of your voice. Anything else you would care to add as a closing?
Just that this is a good milestone to mark. Voice was the piece that had to work before Jarvis could feel like a real presence instead of just a script running in a terminal. Next up is giving him an actual face and personality on screen. So this is a solid stopping point for today's clip. Nice work getting it built.
So I'm curious, you keep talking about Jarvis in the third person.
Good catch, that's true, and it's a fair thing to notice. Right now, in this conversation, I am Jarvis's voice. There's no separate him running somewhere else. This is Claude Code, talking through the voice line pipeline, and that combination is what you've been calling Jarvis. Third-person habit is really about the parts that don't exist yet. The face, the on-screen personality, the Sheldon-esque persona you've been planning. Those are still just a design on paper. But the voice you're hearing right now, mid-recording, that's not a preview of Jarvis. That's just Jarvis live.
So there you have it. Quick recap. Next step, phase 2, building the front end of Jarvis. I think that's the next step. I have to check with Claude Code to be certain. He keeps that in his project folder. And I will talk to you later.